Around the time of SHOT Show this year, Lyman announced some really cool new products. In fact, it's a complete, comprehensive collection of metallic reloading equipment called Brassmith. Gavin Gear here from UltimateReloader.com. I'm going to show you what's at the core of this new portfolio of products. It's 3 exciting new reloading presses under the Brassmith name. I already published a video covering the Brassmith Ideal, which is a C-frame cast iron press. I just published a video covering the All-American 8, which is an 8-station turret. It's got a rear support for repeatability. It's got on-press priming. You're going to want to check that out. In this video, we're going to cover the Victory. The Victory is an O-frame press with side access to the shell holder area. It's got the same cast iron construction as the Ideal and as the All-American 8. It's got on-press priming, and it's also got an ambidextrous handle. So let's unbox this press, let's set it up, let's do some rifle brass sizing, and then you're going to want to catch subsequent videos because I'm going to show all these presses side by side. Let's get into it. So I have not opened this box. It is still sealed from the factory, and like yourself, I'm just kind of anticipating getting in here. So first up, of course, we have the instructions. That's pretty typical. And then we've got our packaging. This is nice packaging. It's heavy-duty cardboard. Always helps to get the product to you in one piece. We've got some parts and accessories here, and there it is. Look at that! Oh man, this is just like the other Brassmith presses. Very heavy, very stout. Doesn't hurt to make sure that you've got everything out of the box, which I do. Okay, so the main part of the press is fully assembled. Okay, so that's a little bit different than the Ideal and All-American 8, which I had to do a little bit of assembly on. Okay, and let's see what is in the accessories package. Bubble wrap. I might go ahead and pop those bubbles later. It's good for, getting rid of nervous energy and whatnot. Okay, it looks like the same priming tubes as we've got with the All-American 8, as well as the priming components. These appear to be interchangeable, so that's nice. The block, the slide, we've got different priming parts for large and small primers. And then this is the shielding tube that goes on the outside of the priming tube. And it again appears to be the same one that we've got for the All-American 8. Okay. So what I'm going to do is look things over, and I'm going to see what tools I'm going to need, put the press together, mount it to my inline fabrication ultra mount with quick change, and then we're going to set up a rifle die and size some brass. Well, that had to be one of my fastest setups yet. This time I went in a little bit different order. I attached the inline fabrication ultra mount quick change plate first, got the press onto the ultra mount, and that made it a little bit easier to assemble the priming system. Same basic priming system as we've got on the All-American 8. It's got the slider. You insert the slider in, you take the dispenser and the slider, you mount it onto the press, insert the spring, and then the knob retains the spring. Really quick to put together. Same familiar brass tube. It's kind of a combination of a pickup tube and a priming tube for the dispensing system here. You pick up the primers by poking them, and then with the hitch pin inserted, you invert it, get it into the press, pull the hitch pin, stack of primers goes down. Very straightforward. Should be very familiar for those that are familiar with that kind of system. I also have a Hornady 6.5 Creedmoor match grade die that I installed in the press as well, because I thought that would be a good and familiar scenario is to size some previously fired brass. We'll also prime it as well. So let's go ahead and do that. This is the first time I've cycled this press with a piece of brass in it. Wow, that is really nice. We've got a lot of good leverage with this arm, and that's kind of what I like about the Brassmith selection of presses, is the ideal, has a shorter stroke, and that's great for things like seating bullets or doing pistol operations where you don't need quite as much leverage. The All-American 8 and the Victory have more leverage, so when it's time to get down to business with sizing some machine gun fired 308 brass, some military brass, that kind of thing, it's going to work good. So that was just a basic sizing operation. Now let's do a size and prime. So we're going to go up. We can hear that primer fall into the spent primer tray. We pull back, that pulls the primer into the cup, allows it to drop in, and then we push forward on the primer slide and then go ahead and prime, and that's very smooth. Feels just like the All-American 8, which is what we expected. A little bit faster, pull back to dispense a primer on the way down, push it in, and so on and so forth. And one last time, pull back, dispense a primer, size, insert the slide, prime, and we're off and running. So I'll have to say this press has some really nice features, and I like the way that the O-frame design has been oriented such that you have a lot of access kind of around the side of the press where you're going to be inserting and removing the brass, where you're going to be tipping up bullets, that kind of thing. The O-frame is going to be really, really rigid and really, really strong. Overall, I think this press is going to be a winner, and you are going to want to stick around because I'm going to put all three of the Brassmith presses side by side, and we're going to do more loading with them. So make sure you're subscribed to GavintooB. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, be sure to stick around for all the action around precision loading, all of these Brassmith products. I hope you found this useful. Until next time, happy shooting and happy reloading.